Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Dykman, and I am from Monmouth County Workforce Development Office. I am here today to talk a little bit about social media in your job search and what the most popular social media platforms are and how to best use them while you are job searching. So what we're going to do today is share my screen so that you can see the slides for the presentation. At the very end, I will give you a link and you will be able to download these slides as well as some additional handouts that are going to be very helpful to you as you are using social media in your job search. So here we go. Give me a second. All right. Yeah. There we go. All right. So social media use for your job search, what we're going to talk about today. They don't make phone books anymore. It just doesn't happen. There's a few phone books and they're very, very small. You can't use them as a doorknob anymore or a doorstop. Every organization is online. Every place that you would want to work has some kind of presence online, whether it is Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. There's a ton of different ways that they can get the word out about what they're all about. So you have to think like the CEO of me, CEO of a business, and brand yourself just like an organization or a business does. 59% of people currently do research on companies on social media, finding out a little bit about them. And that's what you want to do as well. So all you're doing is using social media to network. You're networking online. You're checking out conversations and building bridges, extending that olive branch to others so that they can get to know you and you can get to know them before any decisions are actually made. Keep in mind, we talk about this in resume workshops. We talk about this in Job Search Workshop 1. The brain is very visual. We don't have very big attention spans. So 90% of what we are listening to or seeing is a visual impact. They're not looking at long lines of text. So pictures are a big deal. When you look at some of these slides, you can see we're in a visual world now. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, as the saying goes. So you want to make anything that you transmit visual. People will remember that. And the whole goal of you getting a job, selling yourself, branding yourself is in a visual way. All right. So you can see content with visuals get 94% more total views. This is a big selling point. It's a big telling point about what you need to do in order to be seen and be remembered. 60 million people are viewing some kind of social media per month. So if you're not on social media, you're really missing the boat. I know it seems to be a dirty word for some people, social media, but it's not in today's world. In 2020, it's not going away. It's a big, big impact. And you should be on there as well. So with all of that said, think about all the social media tools that you're currently using. You may think that, oh, I'm not on Facebook and I'm not on Instagram and I'm not doing that. Okay, we just had the holidays. Did you order a package from Amazon? We're in COVID-19. Are you ordering your groceries online and having them delivered, or DoorDash for restaurants, or maybe Zoom accounts to stay in contact with your loved ones? There's all different ways that we're using social media on a regular basis now, especially with what's going on in the world today. So how you can use it best is very impactful. Keep in mind, even Abraham Lincoln, way back in the day, right? He knew that visuals are telling a big story. So infographics are a big deal. You should really try to incorporate them into every part of your being. Why do you want to use social media? Well, not so much who you are. But how'd you get to know? How'd you get started in this? They want to know not what you do, but what you're about and why you got into what you got into and how that whole went from here to here to here to here. How did that happen, right? We're all in it to make money of some kind, but what's your passion? And social media allows you to express all of that in text as well as pictures. So think about what other companies that you admire are doing, and then do it on a smaller scale for yourself, right? With a logo, with a branding, and extending that olive branch. Remember, it's not going anywhere. It's only going to be more impactful. So social media is something that you can't ignore. You really need to get on board with it. You don't need to know every social media tool. You don't need to know every part of technology, because again, technology changes every single day. But you need to be comfortable with it and embrace it so that you can learn what's going to happen. We talk about the Internet of Things. We talk about what is going on. Well, we're in 2020. This is 2019. This infographic is showing you right there. Facebook, over 1 million people are logging on in 1 minute of time. There are 18.1 million texts that are sent. You know all of this stuff, but maybe you didn't realize how impactful social media is. And these are just a few social media tools, the most popular ones. Take a look at it because it is very telling of how much time people are spending on the internet. A lot of people will ask me about social login. Social login is not really a big deal. There are more applications being submitted through social login. Kind of like if you're looking at a job and it appears on LinkedIn, on their job board, it'll say, do you want to sign in with LinkedIn? They are assuming that you're already signed in with your username and password to view this job. You can view more details or apply for the job based on that social login without having to create another username, another password for their particular industry, for their particular company. They trust that LinkedIn has done their due diligence and that you have done your due diligence. Sometimes you'll see, do you want to sign in with Google? Same thing. You don't need to create a username and password. It just does it for you. Sometimes it says Facebook. All the bigger companies that are doing their due diligence, that have firewalls, you have created a password and username. The less clicks that you're going to have to do and the less entries you're going to have to do makes you more likely to finish and complete an application and include all the truthfulness in the application. And in the end, what you say and being truthful gives them more data so they can go forward and know exactly who applied and who didn't, right? So that is the reason for social login. It's not about stealing your identity. Using social media platforms. Please use them to create your employer bucket list, to explore, to do research on them. Connect with recruiters and hiring managers, no matter where they are. People know people who know people, right? Follow them on social media, see what they're all about. Every different platform is a different theme and is going to give you a different response. Follow them and see if they're like your corporate culture, what you're looking for. See if you match their corporate culture. They're looking at you as well. Once you are connected and following a recruiter or hiring manager, they're going to be like, hey, who is this John Smith guy that's following me suddenly? And they're going to be forced to look at your social media platform as well. And they're doing research on you. So it's a give and take. It allows you to take people off, employers off your bucket list once you do research, It allows you to put employers on your bucket list. So you're always doing research and you're following them and engaging them and having conversations. So showing an interest in those people is really going to help put you in the spotlight. You can also check out Manta, Vault, and Hoovers to get some more information about the recruiters, the hiring managers, the HR people. Instead of saying in your cover letter, "Dear Sir, Madam," you could actually address a letter to a particular person based on what is written on those different websites. So you want to do research on all the companies, how big or small they are, what they're all about, their industry, what they primarily sell, that kind of thing. We'll give you all that information. And because they're the internet, you get that information 24 hours a day, no matter what day of the week it is. So you can do your research at any time on any company and get the information. Please work smarter. Don't work harder. The top social media sites, here's the top 10. There are, of course, more. 65 plus social media sites right now. But the most popular is Facebook with 2.45 billion worldwide subscribers, right? Users. Lots and lots of people. Instagram follows with 1 billion. Twitter is third with 330 million. Well, these are the fall 2019 statistics. Those are also going to go up. And they're going to go down, but they're going to go up. They're going to increase. You're going to see more people on there. But there is a big difference between million and billion. However, all these different social media sites are for different reasons. They compete, but yet they're in different markets as well. Facebook tends to be a little more social. Instagram, more pictures. Twitter, business and social. LinkedIn, only professional. And it goes down and down. Each different one is a different reason. Some companies are on all the different sites. Some are on one or two. Some are on the TikTok and Reddit, but they're not on Facebook. You're going to have to do your research to find out where they hang out. Different industries tend to hang out in different places. Why? Because they're branding themselves and they know the people that are using those different social media sites have different interests as well. So the top social media sites for recruiting is always LinkedIn. You're going to learn one social media site, it should be LinkedIn. There are others, of course. Facebook has the most users. Twitter has the most jobs posted. Still, 2020, still, Twitter has the most jobs posted. But how do you find them? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Facebook. So all of these things are research that you should do to find out where your target employer hangs out, your industry hangs out. So check out all the different social media platforms and see what's going to be worth your time. Everything you do should be strategic to landing a job, right? So make sure your time is well spent. The reasons employers are even checking you out on social media, kind of scary, but yet it's true. It's a quick and easy, fast background check, right? It's free. They can look you up and they can find and research about you without even having to pick up the phone and pay. Normal background checks cost money. These are free. And that's why they're advertising jobs on different social media platforms, because they tend to be free. No cost. I look really good as a recruiter to my employer if I can fill the job. But they're checking you out more often. It's going up and up. 39% in 2013, 92% in 2016. They're looking you up. Now, they can't hold that against you, but do you actually know your stuff? Are you the SME in your industry, in your particular position? What's your brand? Is it consistent across all your platforms? Are you bad-mouthing your employer? Well, they're thinking you might do the same thing to them. So you don't want to badmouth any employers or past jobs. They're looking for personality, your company fit. Are you all about work or do you do something else? Does that hobby tie into your position? Does it not? Make sure you're not posting anything inappropriate, such as illegal drug use or crimes or anything like that, because that could be a huge no-no and lock you out of a position before they even pick up the phone to call you. So they're doing that background check just to see what you're all about. What are you portraying online on your different social media platforms? It's a big percent that are looking, but they're not spending a lot of time on social media. So please keep that in mind as you are doing your job search. All of these pieces count. Social media is a piece of all of your job search, right? All right. Keep in mind, LinkedIn absolutely is always #1 for job search because we know 60 to 85% of people land a job from networking, and LinkedIn is professional networking. However, when they are looking at your social media platforms, they're looking at Facebook and Instagram. What are you posting there? Are you still professional on those platforms? What are you saying about yourself? They're looking to see if you have the same culture fit, your hobbies and interests, and your industry. So all of those things that we talked about. Are smaller companies on there too? Yes, they are. They're on there actually pretty much the same or more because social media tends to be free. So keep that in mind that small company, big company, doesn't really much matter. Everyone's on social media. Remember the yellow book pages? They're still there, but they're very, very small. Social media is free and everyone's on social media. Hashtags. Most people don't know what hashtags are. Hashtags are pretty important. Please think of what a hashtag is if you're not really sure. The old-fashioned way would be a filing cabinet. In the filing cabinet, you have manila folders, as the picture shows you. Each manila folder in your filing cabinet is a hashtag. So if I put a post about hashtag cute babies in bath, that is the only folder it's in. If I put hashtag cute babies in bath, hashtag cute babies in bubble bath, those are two different manila folders. So that article or photo will be in those two different files. Please keep in mind any hashtags that you use on your picture or your post with your text should be regular ones that people follow. You make up a unique hashtag, you're not promoting it and selling it and people start following it, they're not going to get the information. The hashtags that you use in your posts and your announcements are what people are following. So if I'm following anything to do with hashtag baby in bath, anyone that uses that hashtag, I'm going to get in my feed. Hashtags are across the board. They started out, I think, I don't even know, in Twitter or Instagram. They've carried over to Facebook. Now they're on LinkedIn. Your most popular social media platforms have some kind of hashtag. It's recommended that you use three hashtags, no more, no less. But if you use this hashtag cute babies in bath on Facebook and the same hashtag on Instagram and the same hashtag on Twitter, that same picture or text is in the file 3 times. So you want to mix it up and use different hashtags to get across to different people and widen your reach. Okay. Some hashtags that you might want to use or consider using, in addition to the attachments in the YouTube download, you will see Hashtag jobs. Well, if a recruiter uses hashtag jobs, that's where it's going to be posted, in that manila folder. You could follow hashtag job search. Anything hashtag job search labeled by somebody else will be in that manila folder. So if you search for hashtag job search, that's what you're going to get. If you want hashtag job search USA, you're going to get just the USA if the recruiter labeled it that way. So you might have to play around with how they labeled it and guess to see what you're coming up with. Because if they used hashtag job search, great, you're going to get it. But if you use hashtag job search USA or tri-state area or New Jersey and the recruiter did not put it in that hashtag manila folder, you'll never see it. So you might have to play around with a couple different ones to get what you are looking for. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a wonderful free social media tool. If you decide to use it for free, great. You can upgrade for a payment, and on the help desk, it will tell you what to do. If you're not using LinkedIn for free, and every aspect that we do discuss in the LinkedIn workshops, I do not recommend that you pay. You can, but it really isn't worth your time or your money. You might just be throwing money away if you're not using it to its fullest. You can sign up for LinkedIn by going to linkedin.com, and there is a help button that walks you through every single aspect of how to get on LinkedIn, what to do, how to set it up. You can also take the workshops for LinkedIn that are listed on this YouTube channel and find out a little bit more, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, different ways to use LinkedIn to your advantage. It is free. Most jobs are on LinkedIn. 77% of jobs are recruited using that platform. So it's really important that you take a look at what LinkedIn is offering. You can learn online on LinkedIn. Most importantly, network and ask career advice. People are out there and they're willing to give you career advice for free, but you have to take advantage of it and network. Use this and spend more time on LinkedIn than any other job board or social media platform. There are tutorials on LinkedIn that will walk you through how to set it up and how to get the most out of it. But the most important part of LinkedIn is engagement. Being engaged, commenting on somebody's post, sharing and commenting on their post, and making sure that they know by tagging and hashtags, right? So there's a lot that goes into LinkedIn once you're done. You look at LinkedIn as a career management tool, not a job board. If you're thinking of LinkedIn as a job board, you're thinking about it wrong. Please consider it, because even when you do land, you're going to use LinkedIn. You should use LinkedIn and stay active on it, even 5 minutes a day. Spend more time on LinkedIn now while you're in job search, but when you land, spend a little less time, but every day on LinkedIn. You can see from this screenshot, we have headlines and connections. The black bar right up top lets you change and view different modes, as well as make corrections and additions. The small photo is the key to everything. You can start a post, you can add a picture, you can do a blog. There's all different things that you can do with LinkedIn, again, for free. Twitter. Nobody likes Twitter. A lot of people don't like Twitter. Some people like Twitter. But you need to know what the ins and outs are. Again, embrace technology. You don't have to get on Twitter, but you need to know how Twitter works. The best way is to experiment. Remember, you're not Wreck-It Ralph. You're not going to break the internet. Twitter.com is where you would go to sign up and to get started. Again, just like LinkedIn, it'll walk you through on the help desk how to get started. Twitter is a combination of microblogging, social network, instant messaging, little bit of everything. It used to be 140 characters. That includes spaces and periods, punctuation. Now it's 280. So you have a little bit more. Why? Well, there's tagging, and Twitter recognized the importance of hashtags. And with that, it takes up some space when you're tagging and you're using hashtags, so they want to give you a little bit more room. So now we have 280 characters. On Twitter, you need an account to see the jobs. We know 58% of jobs are posted on Twitter, more than any other place on the internet, more than Monster, Career Builder, Indeed, LinkedIn, any job board. But there's a reason for Twitter. It's free. You need to know how to use it. So I suggest that you play around with it, get the ins and outs, know how to use it personally so that you can talk to an employer about Twitter. You don't need to know professionally how to use Twitter, but you do need to know what the screens look like. You can follow companies, recruiters, hiring managers, they can follow you back. With Twitter, you want to get as many followers to your content so they can share and post. You can also block people from viewing anything you share or post. So if you don't want your ex to see anything that you're doing on Twitter, you can block them. So if you go to the privacy settings on Twitter, all of that is described for you, and you can go ins and outs and learn how to use it. Keep in mind, naming your Twitter handle is a really big thing because it reflects your Twitter on search results. Just like you Google your favorite restaurant down the street to get their phone number, when you Google your name, your Twitter handle will come up. Depending on what your handle name is, will depend on the SEO, search engine optimization. A lot of people will use their name or their email address. If your email address is doglover1980 at whatever.com, they might use at doglover1980 as the handle. Your handle always starts with the at symbol. You might need to play around with what is available. Just like an email address, Twitter will tell you whether it's taken. Remember, there's 330 million people worldwide on Twitter. It's free. Do you think you're the only person with John Smith? Do you think that you're the only person with Doglover1980? You might have to play around with it to figure out whether it's first name, first initial, last name, or whatever, just like an email address, to see what is open and available for you. Your Twitter bio is very similar, but it tells a person what you're all about, personal and professional, what you're about. And it lets somebody view you to decide whether they want to follow you, whether they're interested in what you're going to have to say, what you're all about. Is it consistent to your brand, what you're trying to get out there, your SME? So the example here, which I Googled, Grandmaster of Customer Delight at Post Planner. Gave the Twitter handle right there. Trying to perfect the art of making cappuccino while running a business. Introvert with awesome hair. Little bit of personal, little bit professional. It's a little bit combination of both. So what are you all about? What is your passion? What drives you? You might have to think about it. You probably have to think about it and write it down to find your best bio that works with those 160 characters. Videos on Twitter get 6 times as many tweets, retweets. Photos get 3 times as many retweets. Keep that in mind as you are tweeting, right? The more visual images that you do use, the more retweets you'll get. And a retweet is somebody sharing your comment or your post. So if you tweet something and I think it's great and I want to retweet it, I share it and retweet it with all my friends. If I have 500 people following me, those are 500 people that might not necessarily see your original tweet. So it's reaching a larger audience. If you have 10 friends that are connected to 500 people and they all retweet your tweet, 500 times 10. So you have the potential to get a lot more viewers of what you have to say. Your tweet should have a video or a photograph, right? That's going to help you. As of summer 2019, Twitter is in the number 5 spot among social networks, outpaced by Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and it's neck and neck with Twitter for job search. It's definitely something that you should consider, whether you like it or not, because a lot of decision makers are on Twitter. There are some resources down below on this slide to help you find some more information if that is something that you need. A homepage for Twitter tends to look like this, all right? So you'll see the arrow, that's the sign in page. You can log in, you can sign up. But because it's professional and personal, keep in mind, it's going to give you suggested what are the most popular tweets, the sports people. If you want to follow New York Times, you can. If you want to follow the NHL, you can. If you want to follow Ariana Grande, you can. Music, entertainment, lifestyle. It gives you everyone that has a Twitter account, and you can decide whether or not to join their network to follow them. And then maybe you'll get a tweet that you want to retweet. Facebook. Ooh, everyone knows Facebook. Facebook is the most well-known social media platform. Most people are on Facebook right now, but then there are some that are not. It is best known. You want to complete your profile as best as you possibly can. Once you're on, you want to share posts, you want to comment and engage, not just hit the like button. That's not engaging. Commenting, sharing with a comment is engagement. You are getting people to recognize that you're sharing, right? Smaller businesses tend to be on Facebook. They have more followers and be on Facebook, more than 200 friends on Facebook. So you can follow businesses and keep that separate. So there are groups. You can classify your friends and keep them separate. You can have a group just for a surprise birthday party. You can have a group for just your alumni network. You can be part of a group on Facebook that is just for Twitter or whatever. There's thousands upon thousands of groups on Facebook. Only you're going to see those messages, not your entire network. So you can join a lot of different networks, okay, just to get the information that you need. Definitely explore, see what else is out there. A home page for Facebook would look like this before you log on or you sign in. Instagram. Please note, Facebook owns Instagram. Instagram is mostly pictures. It's short and sweet and to the point. If you do long lines of text, people will backlash and get very angry. So definitely keep it short and sweet. Use pictures and video to tell your story, whatever story it is. There are 1 billion monthly active users. Instagram is generally for younger audience, younger generations. Facebook is for older audiences, generally. Doesn't mean that that's the way it is for everyone, but generally that is the way it goes. Instagram is more trusted by younger generations. Facebook is the same for older generations. Okay, so there's different reasons and there's different modes to use those platforms, but keep that in mind. As you're using Instagram and you're scrolling through, short, sweet, 5 to 6 seconds, because people are scrolling through Facebook, through Instagram, and you want to grab their attention so that they stop on your photograph or your video and they read it or listen to it or look at your picture, right? It does have the highest user engagement of all social platforms. An Instagram post this is what the home page looks like, and it's usually, not always, but it's usually done from your phone. You can see login with Facebook. It's a social login. So with that said, it's asking you if you're already logged in with Facebook. You can use that password and username that you've already used for Facebook to log into Instagram. Instagram trusts Facebook. Finsta pages. Finsta is part of Instagram, but not really. So you can Google what a Finsta page is. Finsta is a fake Instagram. And I'm telling you this just so that you are aware that it exists. It's part of cybersecurity, but it's young audience and it is psychology. A Finsta page, you have to be asked to join their network. Instagram is generally open, but a Finsta is private. Finsta is a different persona. So a younger person generally might have a Finsta page and an Instagram page. And you may be friends with a nephew or a niece or a child on Instagram, but not know about the Finsta page for their friends. The Finsta page is an invite only. They have to accept you. And that's where a lot of bad things tend to happen. Whether they're using curse words in the F-bomb, or they're showing pornography, or they're sharing their true self, or you want to know why suicide is huge among a younger generation? Finsta pages are contributing to that. So it's something to keep in mind as you are exploring different social media tools and what's going on in the world of your child. All right, so just keep that in mind. They're measuring their worth and their value based on how many likes their picture or video is getting, how many comments, what kind of comments they're getting, their shares, their posts. Keep in mind, social media platforms are the only outlets that children, teenagers, young adults have to express themselves and make their mark on the world. Social media is becoming a place where people define themselves. We need to pay attention. It's something that could become an issue. So keep that in mind as you're going through all these social media things. Just like a double-edged sword, no matter what, there's a good part of social media and there's not so good part of social media. So this is just a not so good part of social media that we need to keep in mind. Blogging. Blogging is known as that new cover letter. It's speaking about your subject matter expertise. Do you really know what you're talking about, right? It's maintained by you, so you put out what you want people to know about. It shows and proves that you are the subject matter expert in whatever industry, whatever topic it happens to be. There are many social media platforms that you can use to blog for free. We're going to go over that in the next slide. On LinkedIn, it is something that is free. Remember, when you are using blogs, picture and video, definitely worth 1,000 words. It gets people to want to read what you have to say, what you are posting about. 1 or 2 well-written blogs is all you need to attract a recruiter's attention. You don't need to regularly blog every single day, every single week, not to put the pressure on yourself. You can just write a couple blogs, okay? It's just proving your knowledge. Career portfolios. They used to be for those creative industries, graphic artists, photography artists. Now it's expected. Creative career portfolios are expected for everybody, no matter what your industry is. So you want to think about what would be in your career portfolio. Publish the URL on your website, on your LinkedIn, on your business card, in your signature line. Let people know that you have one and give them a way to find your career portfolio. You want to include your elevator pitch. Include examples of your best work. Not all your work, just your best work. Where you are around the web. Maybe one blog, what you're about, right? What you wrote about. Testimonials that are proving your worth, that you actually know what you're talking about. People that have endorsed you, patted you on the back. And include visualization, any logos that you have, professional pictures, you in action, you at work, videos, podcasts, anything like that. Definitely all of it comes together. So keep that in mind, that it's something to think about, all right? And the person that has a career portfolio is way ahead of someone that does not. You want to have a hosting site for your blogs and your career portfolios. What will happen is if it goes down and your internet's not working, there's no IT there except for you to get it back up. So if you're very handy in IT and you have no problem with that, go for it. Otherwise, you really want a hosting site so that they have an IT department that will maintain it and make sure that it stays up. There's firewalls there, that kind of thing. So some free hosting sites, Blogger, Squarespace, Tumblr, Weebly, Wix, WordPress, they're free, and then they have an upgrade option as well. Start off with free and work from there. I don't recommend paying anything for a career search. So if you can do it for free, try and do it for free first. YouTube. All right, we talk about YouTube a little bit. YouTube is a place to learn. So when you're doing career search, you want to go to YouTube just to find out about the company. Do some career search about the recruiter or hiring manager. Find out what their products are. Find out a employer, a company, what they're getting into, what has been written about them, what are their videos, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of information on YouTube. You can even use YouTube to find little tutorials about different subjects so that you can always be learning. Definitely incorporate YouTube because everything is on YouTube, everything. So Google and YouTube are your best friends. Definitely look at YouTube as a learning platform. A homepage for YouTube looks like this. And you can see anything that you want on the left-hand side. You will see your history, videos that are recommended. Maybe you have stuff that's saved that you want to watch later, whatever it happens to be. There's all kinds of information. YouTube will give you suggestions. And if you scroll down, you'll see your latest, what you've watched, what you want to watch, that kind of thing. Podcasting. Wow, you would think I'm like tired. There's all kinds of social media things. Podcasting is a really big deal. It's pretty new, but everyone's talking about podcasting. So now is the time to start. You don't need to have big fancy cameras and microphones and that kind of thing. You can do podcasting right from your phone, particularly iPhone. You see the commercials on television about how people can shoot movies using their iPhone. You can do that with an Android phone. You can do it with your computer. A lot more people are podcasting now because of COVID-19. But you have this huge opportunity to brand and market yourself using podcasting. You can mediate a panel. You can just talk about your industry or a new product that's in your industry. Keep in mind that you do need a SoundCloud account, which is free, for a podcast. So there's a few ins and outs. You want to Google podcasting to learn more about it. Slideshare is another avenue for you to show off your subject matter expertise. It was founded in 2006, and it has gone bigger and bigger. And a lot of companies are asking for knowledge and expertise with Slideshare. Slideshare is a part of LinkedIn now. LinkedIn bought out Slideshare, and you can go to view different PowerPoints and learn online. What have other people done that you didn't even know about that you could learn and see what they're doing? It has some notes as well. And basically, you're taking the PowerPoint that you've already used or you taught, and you're putting into Slideshare mode. It's helping you to brand yourself, establish your subject matter expertise on whatever industry it is or whatever product it is, okay? And it's getting you familiar with how Slideshare works. So it's something to keep in mind. If you want to know more about Slideshare, there's a website right below. Michelle Martin from New Start Career Network has provided a lot of the information that you see, and definitely take advantage of that. Now, we've gone through the most popular social media sites. How do you manage them all? Like, do you have a headache? Your head must be spinning in all different directions with all this stuff. We went through a lot of information, but you can manage all of these social media platforms and more through different platforms. So Buffer, TweetDeck, Sendable, Agora Poll, Social Week, all of these things allow you to do different things and different charges. Some are free, some are a little bit of a cost. Explore them and find out what is best for you, because you can manage your posts and say, hey, this is the post I want to go out on Monday, and this is the post I want to go Tuesday, and this is the post I want to go Wednesday. And what is it about your social media as well as your industry that kind of mixes, and then you can get the information out there. Maybe it's your blog, maybe it's your URL to your career portfolio, something that you want to share. If you do everything in one day, it might make it easier instead of checking every single social media account that you have every single day. All right, so check them out, but you can schedule all different kinds of posts. Right? Keep in mind, other job boards for job seekers, they are online. Glassdoor, FlexJobs, Monster, Work from Home, Career Builder, Indeed, all of these things have jobs on them. They're all job boards. There are a lot of job boards in existence today, whether it's through COVID-19 or before COVID-19, after COVID-19, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of information out there of who's hiring and who's not hiring, and how, what is required, filling an application. It's called an ATS, which is an applicant tracking system. It makes things easier for a recruiter, but it doesn't make things easier for a job seeker. There's so many ins and outs and particulars for each company and requirements for each job. So take a look and see what they're all about. Some of them do require you to set up a username and password. Some of them have social login, where if you're already logged in through Google or LinkedIn or Facebook, they'll take that information, and then you don't have to create another username and password. But please be careful. When you apply to a job, you usually have to upload your resume. When you have your resume on one of these or all of these job boards, make sure it's separate and different from applying to a job, being it does not have your phone number on the resume. You don't want to call at 4 o'clock in the morning from someone that got your resume because they have a recruiter account that's trying to sell you hot dogs. And you think it's an emergency call from your son or daughter who got in a car accident. Keep that in mind. You don't know who is getting the information. So you want to keep yourself private and protected as best as you can. So you're having two different resumes. One resume is for when you apply. The other resume is for when you are going to put online. Keep that in mind. Texting for a job is on track to replace email. Keep that in mind as well. You might see apply for the job through text 6392 whatever, I have no idea, right? To apply for a job. Why? Because texts are answered faster than emails and faster than phone calls. We can let things go to voicemail. We can actually, ignore it and maybe get back a day or two later. Texting is pretty immediate. So you're going to see that happen a lot more often so that they can fill slots a lot faster. Video resumes and interviews. With COVID-19, you're seeing this happen a lot more often. And with that said, you have to be prepared. Do some research, find out a little bit about it. We do address video interviews and resumes in our job search workshop too, about videos, resumes, and interviews to learn more about it. But keep in mind, a video resume has the potential 1.8 million views. How many people see your resume now? Only those that apply? Sometimes. 87% of employers said they would watch a video resume if it were submitted to them. This is a big deal. And that was before COVID-19. After COVID-19, it's proven that you are an expert or that you're willing to learn technology and different things and update your skills. This is a really big deal. Definitely explore video, its use in resumes and interviews, and how it is more accepted than the written word. Video stats for both sides. Please remember, 65% learn by seeing. We talked about being in a visual world. 1,000 words, right? A picture is worth 1,000 words. 75% of the workforce will be millennials by 2025, and they're the biggest consumers of video. So who is viewing your resume? Who is looking at you? How is the best method to get across to them what you're all about? It's instant. Video is instant. Social media tips. If you are overwhelmed, because this is very overwhelming, all this social media, pick one. Work with one. Add one to whatever you're doing now. If you are already on Facebook and LinkedIn, just add one. What is the best place for you to be for your industry? Be persistent, be consistent, because that's what branding and marketing is all about. Engagement takes time. It takes time for people to know your name, to know what you're all about. Make sure you're staying on brand, and always send a thank you to answering a question, to having engagement. If somebody is engaging on your post, send a thank you that they took time. We all have 24 hours in the day. They took 30 seconds of their time to answer you. Send a thank you. Be nice. Focus on building that relationship, and always be helpful. It's about them. It's not about you. Please don't be self-promotional, because that will end up hurting you. Best practices, network and engage with your audience. Engage. Highlight your culture, what you're all about. Share the right mix of posts on the right platform. Personal posts don't belong ever on LinkedIn, but it might belong on Facebook or Twitter. What are you all about? What makes you you? Use the appropriate social media platforms for what you're trying to do, the message you're trying to send. If you haven't Googled yourself yet, do it right now. Well, when this video is over. Google yourself. Put your name in. What's coming up about you? Are pictures coming up about you? Is your resume coming up about you? The fact that you have a LinkedIn profile? Well, if it's not, make it. Okay? So, what do you need to do? What do you need to delete? Google yourself. Find out what is coming up about you. 75% of HR departments are required to Google candidates before they even reach out by phone to call you. If they're Googling you and they see whatever, what do you need to do? Think about it. Google yourself so you know what they're going to see. Networking referrals. We know 60 to 85% of people land a job from networking. You must take control of your social media reputation. You must know that we're in the referral economy, and what people find out on Google and other social media platforms is the key. It's a tool in your toolbox for job search, but it's a pretty big tool in 2020. Social media accounts, right? 14% of job seekers credit social media for landing their current job. 14%, that's pretty big. Don't forget, Tinder, Match, and OkCupid can also be used as job search. Who knew? Didn't I always say an interview is like a first date? You get to know them, they get to know you. You see if a match can be made. You see if another date is wanted. Same thing. It's an interview. So, might not be a lifelong partner, but you could be a good match for their job opening at their work that you didn't even know about. 4 ways to access that hidden job market. Build relationships. Extend that olive branch. Always. Use LinkedIn to your advantage by asking the right questions, engaging and commenting, and sharing posts. Use your own network. Reconnect with old colleagues, old bosses, people you used to work with. You establish your work ethic with them when you work side by side. They know who you are. Establish and reconnect with them again. Let everyone know that you're in job search. And use Twitter, because you just don't know who knows who. Remember, social media is a tool. Try them all out. Explore, create. You're not going to break the internet. You're not going to mess things up. Don't be afraid of it. Put it on private mode. No one can see it, and play with it. Explore. You're not going to break the internet. Now that you know about social media and how to network using social media, what's your goal? Do you have a goal? All the things we talked about, what's your goal to get a job using social media? A lot of the information that we shared today is from LinkedIn, Career Sherpa, Job Hunt, and the Muse. There's also a huge amount of information from other career counselors, career experts that are in the field that have shared their knowledge. Some of them are posted on the slides and in the handouts that are attached to this slide. Please keep that in mind. LinkedIn is abundant in free advice for successful job search. Remember, Google and YouTube are always your best friends. Contact information, Larry Cermak is our director, and you can reach him at the below email. My email is at the bottom. Again, Christine Dykeman, Monmouth County Workforce. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. That's all we have for today. And thank you so much for attending and learning a little bit more about social media. And our next episode, we're going to talk about cybersecurity in our social media world. Okay, thank you. Have a good one.